In the 95 years since Mesopotamian oil was first struck at Masjidi Suleiman, and a British lieutenant sent a telegram to the Glasgow office of Burma Oil which read, "See Psalm 104, verse 15, line 3, which is, of course... See, now when I did my gig in Texas, the entire audience, as one, roared out, "That he may bring out of the earth oil to make a cheerful countenance." In the 95 years since that telegram was deciphered in Glasgow, Britain has been at war with or occupying Iraq for 45 of them. Now, if you're a broadcaster, a journalist looking for a neutral, objective, analytical, coldly rational, ideologically uncluttered way to describe that reality, the phrase you're looking for will be something about British and American plans to bring democracy to the Middle East. Some kind of psalm singing is called for, some raising of hosannas to our benevolence. Which is why, when they asked me to go on Question Time, I said no. Because I'm not sure there's this rigid adherence to a dogmatic, entirely fictitious version of world events. And if you step outside it, you're just off the spectrum, they can't even hear you. And if I went on Question Time, there'd be a real danger that I'd just come across as some sort of anarchist nutter. Well, allow me to elucidate with reference to specifics. Why, for example, to go on Question Time and say, if the Nuremberg laws applied, Tony Blair would be hung. They'd lose their mind. This is rhetoric, offensive, sloganeering, nonsense, empirically true fact, by the way. What they were hung for at Nuremberg was, quote, planning and waging an aggressive war, full stop. No human being was tried for genocide on planet Earth until 1996 when the post-Habyarimana Hutu power were put on the stand in Kigali. What they were hung for at Nuremberg was planning and waging an aggressive war. Yes, but it's still offensive sloganeering, just nonsense. Of course we know in all seriousness. Of course Blair can't actually be a war criminal, can he? Of course Tony Blair can't be a war criminal. I mean, he listens to Oasis. And he can't be a war criminal because we know what war criminals look like. And they look like Goebbels. But what did Goebbels look like to the Germans? Well, you know, we're a modernising party. We've broken the mould of German politics. And sometimes it's better to be on the losing side for the right reasons than to be on the winning side for the wrong reasons. I know, of course, that the war has caused deep divisions in the country. But I also know we are faced with a real problem of global terrorism, which is not simply going to go away, much as we may wish it. And the only way we can deal with this problem is to kill and maim in Iraq in a war that Kofi Annan describes as illegal, because I'll tell you this, you know, if there is any other way at all of uniting the forces of secular Arab nationalism with those of militant Islam, then, you know, I'd like to hear it. There is also a real problem of word fatigue. I mean, people should realise, when we're talking about chemical and biological agents, we're not just talking about, you know, washing powders and detergents. He actually said that, feel the contempt. That is classic New Labour psychology. When they ain't citing false consciousness, it's projection and trans... Do you know what that is now? It's all... It's still turned on. Are you the sound man asking that? Yeah, for a moment, that was those rare moments during a show when the sound guy or the lighting guy actually stops playing their Atari and they're like a really high score at Tetris and like... Where were we? Yeah, word fatigue. Classic New Labour psychology, projection and transference. So it was us. In 2003, we had the problem with word fatigue. Okay, us. Okay, not them, us. And yet we know from our own life experience what word fatigue is, right? It's not a phrase I'd use myself, ugly phrase, but I guess I know what they mean, right? Word fatigue, that feeling when the tongue becomes a wooden clapper and a cardboard bell as you hear yourselves reciting a mantra you ain't never believed, no longer believe. I love you. Yes, I'm having a great time, dear. The W, the M, and the D. By way of psychological contrast, the opposite of word fatigue might be the joyful exuberance of at last uttering the truth which has for too long been suppressed might, for example, be the Times headline of July the 20th, 2002. And the Times, by the way, brilliant newspaper. Oh, yeah. Because every now and then it forgets that there are certain things you are not supposed to mention. And it just gets carried away. And the headline on that date was, West sees glittering prizes ahead in giant Iraqi oil fields. Sorry, I was not supposed to mention that. Sorry, it's just so exciting. See, there's these three giants on North Force, Majdu, Narama, West Coast, and the record first were good for 700,000 barrels a day, but okay. Mum's the word, so I was saying another thing. 220 billion barrels of chemical weapons, not as good as a week to a blind man. Know what I mean, Governor?